Hello, my name is Sebastian Reddeker. I'm the CEO of Luxembourg for Tourism. It's the national agency for promoting Luxembourg as a tourism destination. We are doing this since a long time now, as we were former the National Tourist Office. It was then transformed to a modern agency working in a public-private partnership concept. So today we try to find the best and motivating and inspiring stories to tell people, potential clients in Europe and the world, and it's really a fun job. I went actually once to Burkina Faso, which is definitely not traveler's first choice, but a friend of mine was working there as a diplomat. And for me, it was a really unique opportunity to deep dive into a completely different culture, getting around and at least understanding the enormous challenge this country has to face. And beside the fact that the whole trip actually was a fascinating and absolutely exclusive experience, the visit and guided tour of the second largest city, Bobo-Dioulasso, and its mosque was a really impressive one. And you can imagine walking alone in this magnificent building is something that I will never forget. I would say yes, because culture and heritage are the basis of our society. From a touristic perspective, culture and heritage travel is the opposite of mass tourism. So meaning it's not standardized and not globalized in its offer. Culture and heritage tourism, that's not only respecting the local community, but it also allows for more immersive experience. So it gives more people the possibility to connect with guests, also in an economic way. And having a look at the money, cultural visitors tend to spend more than the average on their trips. So local authorities also seeing an added value in preventing and developing the cultural offer, which will benefit also the local population. And last but not least, I think personally, I'm convinced that travelers interested in culture and heritage are part of a mutual understanding, respect and tolerance towards other people. So this is something that, especially in our times, is even more needed than ever. As a destination, but also as an industry partner, I think the most important is being aware of their own values. So in the case of Visit Luxembourg, these values are reliable, open, and dynamic. And dynamic means full of contrasts, inspiring and transforming. So being authentic means also defending those values, and that has a direct impact on your daily business. So including the choice of your partners, your stories, and also your advertising strategy. Authentic experience should always rely on the cooperation with the local population. So the so-called industry is no longer a really separated profit center. In my opinion, the major condition for this to succeed is to benefit of a high support of the locals for tourism and welcoming guests. And I'm really proud to see that in that case, the Luxembourgers do show with around 80% a very, very high level of support for tourism. So show who you are and not who you would like to be. If it rains, let it rain, and try to think beyond the classical business models, including also promoting the destination as an all-year-long destination and introducing by that the seasonality. To be honest, I think the most alarming is to see how fast the over-tourism phenomenon came back this summer. As you all know, lots of companies suffered, and lots of them were really happy to see tourists coming back in 2022. And for Luxembourg, numbers already reached more or less the 2019 level. But if we really learned our lesson, we should work on a reliable sustainability program in tourism. So select your customers carefully. Don't try to sell the unique holiday experience to a mass of tourists. Try to find a balance between visitors and residents. Residents that, how I told you before, support welcoming visitors. So sure, we need the support of digital technologies to better manage tourism flows, no discussion. But it would even be better to change our communication at a very early stage so that we can give potential travelers new ideas of enriching experiences that can also be found at alternative places. It is likely that we won't convince every single traveler, but let's start with those that are open and let's make them talk about the new experience. Research, by the way, shows us that it's anyway not the iconic sites, but rather micro experiences and encounters that leave the most lasting memories. As I already mentioned, I think culture and heritage are two dimensions of a potential more sustainable post-COVID-19 approach, but in a modern way. So it will certainly influence the revival of city tourism and also events like festivals and exhibitions. You know that they suffered a lot during the pandemic and people are really eager to experience culture again. So I think it's more this kind of potential influence rather than visiting, to be honest, only old stones and boring museums. So both should show you a new perspective of a destination, making the link between the modern life and those things you visit, and finally being part of transforming travel experience.